Hello! How are you all doing? It's another Thursday and I am back to do some drawing. I can see there's a few of you waiting there, which is awesome. I hope you're all well. Just going to see if it goes live on this machine. It is! We're live. Remember, if you want to say hello, there's a little chat bar on the side. You can say hello. And be really nice if you post your drawings on hashtag Cardiff Life Drawing, and I shall see it there, and I can go cool like that. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different today with our drawing. I am going to draw some Bridgman. So I've always enjoyed kind of looking at Bridgman's work and drawing from it and learning from Bridgman. Lots of you know Bridgman. This is an awesome set of books, if you can get it. There's a book on hands, faces, and then there's the torso book. It's, if you want to look at like body shapes and anatomy, this is a lovely, lovely book. Okay. And there's lots of really cool stuff in it. I think one of the problems sometimes when people draw Bridgman is they make it all a bit abstract. They see all the pretty lines and they don't think about those lines representing a solid shape and structure, but that is what Bridgman's drawing, solid shapes and structures and anatomy. And I think it's better if you if you've got that kind of knowledge of those basic shapes and use his understanding and apply it. I think it works better in the end. Anyway. Let's do some drawing, because we don't want to listen to me. Well, you are going to listen to me, I guess, but we want to actually draw something like that. Awesome. So you can kind of see me. If you're drawing along. Awesome. Good morning. I'm in the corner, and I've got some Bridgman images. These are like classic Bridgman images. That's the classic one here. Got this one here, and we might try that one in a minute. So we're going to try and draw these. Cool. So I'm just going to plow on and hope that you are with me. There seems to be a couple of you watching. Good morning. And I'm going to dive straight in and I'm going to go across the shoulders. And I didn't like my first line. I'm going to go higher in the shoulder. Now this figure looks like they're pulling the shoulder high in the torso as well. So I'm going to draw my first kind of constructional shape, something a bit like this. My little rectangles or squares. She's not that long there. But I'm going to allow for this like she's really crunched in. And a nice strong diagonal on the other side. So this is very much, you'll see this is where I get... You can see a lot of the shapes I like to draw straight away in Bridgman. That's why I love drawing Bridgman. Bridgman's awesome. Alright, get yourself a copy of the books. But like I said, be careful with sometimes how relaxed or how relaxed the lines are. That sometimes people draw it as abstract lines and don't think about the body blocks and the anatomy and the hard, rigid structures I think in them. So this length and this length would be about the same. I'm going to come down to the knee, and this the foot should be diagonal, so pretty much down from the neck, so you need a diagonal motion on that leg. Alright, do not draw the leg straight. Alright, because it's about the counterbalance, isn't it? So you've got something like this going on, about this length, so ideally these lengths, 1 length, 2 length, 3 length, they should be fairly similar. Alright, let me put a little bit more length on that leg though, he says, and then changes it. About that length again. And I'm going to put in a basic shape for the foot at the moment. Alright. And about you, but my torso suddenly feels a little bit thick, but we'll come back, we'll figure that out in a minute. This other leg is cool because it just sits. It kind of sits in front like that. I'm just going to put this box shape on in a moment and we'll see where it goes. Cool. My drawing feels a bit top heavy at the moment. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's my first drawing. We'll figure it out. I want to put a little bit of squash in. So I'm going to build up on top of these drawings. So it'd be the external oblique. And on here you can see the hip. So the figure comes out on the hip. And then out on that leg bone. I'm going to soften the drawing a bit. So I'm going to add a little bit more body mass to it, I guess. A bit more fat to it. Something like that. I'm going to get my stretch coming from the rib down to the hip. And it's important, why Bridgman works is look how strong these diagonals are. Yeah. So this is all about parallels now. If I've got my hip here, I need to get my other hip. That hand is on the other hip and it straightens. And then it comes... So it comes out onto that leg, which is where the leg bone comes in to the torso. I'm just going to put a guideline in for my centre line. I'm going to make sure it's nicely over. It wants to be nice and light. And then I'm just going to put the pit of the neck in and put the sternum in. More central. Whoa. First drawing, wrestling with this one. I'm just going to twist then through this torso, you see. And the figure is lifting in the rib cage and pulling back slightly. So it's slightly high up here, which is why I draw the pit of the neck more like that, but I drew it more like that because it's lifting in the rib. I think a little bit, it's just like pull it back and lifting the shoulder. Something like that. We'll see. Cool. Right, let's get a little bit of shape around the groin, and we're just going to roll up, like drawing from the inside out. I'm aware of how it will come up towards this hip. This hip is in here, something like this. We'll see where it sits in a minute. We're going to come around the groin and around the stomach mass in a minute. And see where it ends up. Alright, the buttock will be in here. So they're showing kind of the weight of the muscle there, coming down to the knee. And I think I'm going to just draw this knee in a little bit lower. Because I was saying mine felt a bit top heavy, I think I needed a little bit more length to it. That's why I'm zooming out actually, just to, it's a bit like moving away from an image to try and get kind of spatial awareness. Go down for that knee. So I'm just going to pour some of this calf shape in about halfway down that leg. And then the lower part. And then I'm going to drop the foot just a touch lower in the end, I think. Okay. Let's see. First drawing. Oh, we've got a few more watchers. Hello, good morning. Hope you're all well. If anyone wants to say hello on the little chat bar, say hello. It's nice to know that someone's there. I'm just going to put this toe in, like the big toe, and put the nail on top of that plane. And I love the way this other knee just tucks behind, so you get it tucking behind that calf. You're seeing, hang on, let me take some lines out here. I need to see the side wall here. Yeah, so the side wall, so the front, the knee is in here, and then I need that side wall, and then that calf tucks around and back. And then there's a really elegant twist on the foot. It's doing something a bit like that or something. It's like on the toe. The shin is kind of twisting in there. It's in there somewhere. I'm not sure I'm explaining that very well. Cool. So Let's see if we get a little bit of shape on this Icarus crest. Coming down there, because remember, is keep that shape even on here. Let's see, something like that. Starting to work, hopefully. Right. I'm going to take out some of my guidelines. I'm going to curve the neck a little bit, like an elegant, so this figure then has this S-curve from the neck. Does that make sense? The neck becomes important in the grace and the rhythm of the drawing. And just to push me, Bridgman is drawing the underneath of the chin. You're looking up underneath. Not easy. So see if I can get that kind of working. I'm going to draw my basic shape in. I'm just going to put the back of a skull in. So I'm drawing a little bit angular. Just checking my proportions a bit. Could have a little bit more scale on there, but we'll see now, because I'm going to, if I add hair to this in a minute, that might add more volume to that head. I want to show, oops, didn't want to do that. I want to show underneath, I'm looking underneath. I'm going to try and put the jaw in. What I'm going to do is just do, I don't want that to be too dark, the underneath of the chin. But I need it to be quite light, it shouldn't pull your eye there. And to help get the ear higher, because that's also going to, the top of the ear is going to help me with my eye line. I'm just going to roll around that face, and then underneath that nose. So I'm just trying to draw that plane in again. Suggestion, I'm not trying to draw a portrait, I just want to drop in something. Oops. Sorry, I'm just doing it a bit bigger so maybe you can kind of see my suggestive lines. It's going to be an eye in there somewhere. Let's just get some volume in the hair, just come around behind that ear, come up on here, and we're going to need volume on the back of that skull for that to work. Looks a bit small. Can't win them all. And oh, some people are saying hello. Hang on, let me just draw this neck in a little bit thinner as what I wanted. Hello Myla, how are you? Good morning. Nice to see you back again. Simon, hello, how are you? Nice to see you. I think, Simon, you gave us a donation on our website the other day as well, so thank you very much for that. Recognise the name there. I'm just going to put the pit of the neck in, and I'm going to pull this. I don't know what that is. A ligament or what. When you twist that neck, you got that muscle. There you are. There. See it grabbing on my neck? And it pulls down, and you can pull it down to the pit of the neck. Cool. Let's get the trapezius in and build a little bit more shape, and slowly we'll start getting a bit more relaxed in our drawing, hopefully. I'm feeling a bit stiff, still a bit like bleh. Let's pull some of that shape together. And it's lifting in here. We're going to put the bust in, but because it's lifting, you're looking a little bit underneath it. I shouldn't be drawing it as low as I would normally, because I'm trying to get this drawing to feel like it's lifting up. So I'm going to put the pectoral muscle in there, and then around the bust. Hello Anna, how are you? Hope you're well. I hope Anna doesn't mark my face drawing there too much, because she's very strong at portraiture. That wasn't a portrait, that was a kind of smudge face. I'm going to call that now, the smudge face. I'm going to draw a little bit of shape here from the lats and then into the rib, so I'm kind of adding more shape slowly. kind of more warmed up. Let's put this other bust in. Again, a little bit pectoral muscle on this side, bit of that bust, and keeping the areolae fairly high up because I'm supposed to be. It was a little bit big, maybe. Ideally, I'm looking across, like underneath the bust because it pulls back, so I'm seeing the underneath plane of that bust. Now, hopefully, will help it lift a bit if I'm kind of drawing it right. Kind of working it. The line is slowly coming. Let's get these arms in, get the deltoid in, a little bit of shape, and you can see almost how I draw normally. You can see the shapes, and you can see Bridgman shapes, and you can go, oh, Nick's been drawing Bridgman for a while, and it's like, yeah. Yeah, I've done lots of studies of Bridgman's work over the years. Fell in love with his shapes. You should see the way he draws hands. They're like, oh my god, they're breathtaking. Go and check out the handbook. They're absolutely marvellous. If you find hands tricky or like haven't fallen in love with the shapes of the hand, like the thumb and this here, whoops, hang on, the shape here and how that sits, Bridgman draws them absolutely superbly, and it really, you can have a lot of fun just copying his work and then applying it to your own as well. Let's draw the forearm, down through the shape. So remember, I'm wider in here. And then that shape about halfway down that stops and it straightens up. And he's got the very classic dainty little hand popping out the side. We'll put the base of that hand on, we'll drop a thumb out. And we're not worried too much. Let's just drop a finger in. A finger? A finger. Something like that. Cool. Kind of working. Oops, wrong way. Sorry everyone. I feel like she needs to maybe be a little bit more slight here. So if I pull that a little bit thinner, I want the same shape. I want to come out on the hip. I just don't want to show so much. And then maybe come out. On my drawing, that's how I felt. Showing a bit too much hip. Something like that. Right, let's get this other shoulder in. Got the deltoid here, rolling around. Right. I haven't quite, there's a little bit more 3/4 on the top torso there. I'm just rolling that line into that muscle a bit. I'm going to put the bicep, tricep. I wonder if I need a bit more length on that. Just a touch more length, and I want to roll it. I want to feel like this natural kind of curve there. The internet kind of buffers a bit, and it might be where I am. It seems like really slow, so some of you, I think a lot of you are still there. Maybe you're all still here, that's good. I'm going to keep kind of drawing. Remember, you can watch these at any time as well. It's nice to have you live, it's nice to draw with people, but you can come back to this. It's just caught up. Hello, if you lost me for a moment, maybe you didn't. Well, if I wanted to add a bit more shape in the torso, I think we could. So I'm going to play around with this a bit. I'm gonna thin again here around the rib, and then kind of come out again. Get a little bit more definition in the end of that rib. Maybe I could get some mark making for that squash in there. I'm going to pull the belly button over a bit. Remember, belly button front on, so from this side you're looking at that side of it. Yeah. So I pulled my centre line over a bit. I'm going to try and run a little bit of shape from the belly button around the stomach mass. Like a light centre line down into the groin, and then change direction into that groin. Just gives me something to work with. If you want to build a bit of that sidewall with Bridgman, he's got that lovely, or sometimes I will draw, like, I will suggest how the stomach sits here. It's got to be really light. It's not, you're not seeing the edge. I'm trying to describe form really. So some artists, I suppose, you might want to show the side wall down in there, and maybe you want to show some shape in here. Maybe I could show some of the hollow there where the leg bone is. I don't know. And the ab wall would be down in here. I want to be careful though. I don't think this needs to feel like it's like a six pack. In fact, I'm not going to add a lot more. I think collarbone on there. I think that's our first drawing. It was a warm up. It's very Bridgman. It's kind of fun. I think Bridgman's always fun to watch. We shall try another one. Yeah, hopefully you like that one. If you like that one, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. Let's, I'm not going to do that one. That's a classic, but it's very close to what I'm doing. I fancy doing this one next. How are we doing for time? We've got lots of time. There's a lovely upper and lower torso twist. I think it's kind of funky. Basically, I think with my bridge, what I'm trying to do is, for me, I want to keep those body twists and the rhythm, but I'm trying to make it maybe a little bit less abstract. I guess that's what I'm doing in my drawings, well, in kind of my drawings. But I want to. The difficulty is not trying to make it become stiff, because Bridgman's drawings aren't stiff. They're full of like motion and twist, and it's like, how do I keep that but probably build a little bit? So let's see what we're gonna do. So in here, there's a very slight diagonal in there. There's a lovely diagonal in here. So the buttock on the other side would be like really low, because that also applies in those knees. So we'll see if we can kind of get that working. So a very slight diagonal motion there. And we're going to build this, I'm going to say a little bit Bridgman-y. So I'm going to think about it as a 3D mass, because now I am looking at, you know, these awesome Bridgman drawings. Sorry, I'm just putting in where that neck's going to go, and I'm thinking about that rib cage. And what I'm doing is thinking about the side wall of the figure there. Don't draw that, please. Which you get very clearly from Bridgman's drawing. You've got to keep this centre line here nicely over, yeah? Got to feel really 3D for this to work. And then we will... So I'm going to use some grace for this. I'm going to show like the 10th rib, or the end of the rib, where the rib changes direction. I'm going to... Let's really start playing with this lower torso mass and see what we can do with it. Wow, nice strong diagonal out there. I am almost blocking in like Bridgman's drawing a little bit, or my attempt, getting an even stronger diagonal in there to really get the curves working, and we'll see. It might break the drawing, but that's kind of, sometimes that's what's interesting, and you learn a lot from breaking a drawing. So that's kind of cool. Ooh. Some people are giving me thumbs up. Thank you. I think that's maybe you've reconnected, I don't know, with the buffering internet. Something like that. Hopefully that makes sense, what I'm drawing. I'll zoom in a little bit. Alright. And I see on here, see like, this is the hip coming up here, sorry. This is like, so that's how I see that. Kind of like coming right up into that leg. Now I'm going to have to zoom out to get some length a sec, and to get some rhythm. And the rhythm for me is it comes like that, and then I want to get that around that, and this is pretty bad I know, but around that thigh and calf and thigh. So I'm just going to play with where I might position the front of that leg, searching for it. And length, one length, one length, 2 length, might need a bit more on the buttock, 3 length, 4 length, So I just still need to keep the balance as well. So I'm just going to keep this rhythm a sec and plant something like that. Hopefully that's kind of fun. Right, so I just kind of want to feel that pace, and I love that back leg. That back leg, we're going to tackle it in a minute. I don't want to put it in yet because it depends where I put that hip, but it sticks. It's dropping low and it comes out there, but we'll come to it in a minute. Because it will all be about the success of us getting the hip working in the drawing, I think. So we'll start playing with that now. Or I probably should start thinking about this arm. Nope. Just going to drop in here somehow. Let's get some just generics. Something like that. And a lovely dropped head. So I'm dropping it right into the torso. It's giving me my kind of oval, something like that. I know I'm going to draw the back of this and the neck in a minute. Something. So I know I'm going to play with this yet. And I would, even in pencil, I'd do a similar thing. I would be drawing really lightly. And drawing with my rubber as much as anything. Right, let's start building into this torso a bit, see where we can bring it. Actually, saying that, I'm going to go to the neck. I'm going to pull the neck in, that nice curve down. And I'm going to come down to the pit of the neck. There. Oops, sorry, everyone. Drawing bad lines. From behind the ear and the jaw, I'm going to come down to that pit of the neck. Nice down into the torso, and I want to drop this head, I think, so I'm rotating these angles down because this will kind of, on this drawing I'm going to drop the head slightly, so I'm rounding, hoping you can see what I'm doing, and probably would see more of the outside of the nose on that side. Going to suggest that an ear in from the eye and from the nose. Like that. Cool. Let's put the bust in. I think I'm going to have, in a minute, I'm wondering if I'm going to have to pull some thinner in here. Because that's going to, the arm's really going to struggle. Because that tube of the arm is going to sit in here. And I might struggle to get it in front of the head as much as Bridgman does. Something like that. And what I'm drawing here is almost a tube like that. Kind of playing with it. If that makes sense. And then it's going to pull this side around the front of that pectoral muscle. Let's get the pectoral muscle on the other side. So I get a little bit of shape here. Then let's drop that bust on. I'm going to pull the kind of fat tissue, so I'm trying to pull the shape of that bust somewhere in there. This would lift probably, because that arm is pull up that pectoral muscle and lift that bust. So I wonder if I'm getting short in the bust here. We'll find out in the end. I'm going to change the displacing of the aureoli to try and lift that. So I've got the suggestion of the pectoral muscle into that bust. I'm just trying to lift that shape slightly. I'm going to find this. I'm going to show a little bit more rib and then stretch. So I've got the centre here. Oh, I don't know where my centre line is going to be, right over here. I'm just seeing if I change direction. I'm going to bring that a little lower, change direction, and then I'm going to come around. That's working, I think. Around that stomach. You see that? A little twist through there. Zoom out a sec. I still think I'm crunching in there a bit, and I could have lifted that breast a little bit more. But I just get so much motion. In fact, even on that drawing, can you see there's a stronger diagonal there? And I'm not getting that in this drawing. But if I draw... I can't shorten this distance here. I would need to probably want to come across from that bust and get more of a diagonal there. Get more of a diagonal there. Now you don't need to do this. If you're happy with your drawing, just pause where you are. I'm just going to see if I can add more twist on this. Because it's going to bug me now I've brought it up. So I'm just keep that higher, pulling into there. Then show that rib and then stretch. We'll see. Changing the shape of that aureola again, trying to lift it, trying to show, so I'm showing the underneath of the bust. Cool. I'm kind of getting wrapped up in small shapes probably. So let's just pull into here. I'm just going to pull that a little bit higher. Let's get a little bit of shape on the back. So actually he's showing me the lat and then into the rib, so into the lat and into the rib. I don't know if I'm showing too much there. Cool. Where's that elbow? It's going to come up there. If I've stopped talking, it's because I'm thinking. Right, let's come down to these hips. I think I'm getting engrossed in there. I'm getting lost. I'm going to pull this hip right up and almost create my squash in there. Almost like the external oblique is in there and then the hip sits down in here and it comes down into that leg. And we'll see where it takes us. So I'm going to, on here, I'm going to come down the hip and then I'm going to change into the buttock. Get me some shape in that buttock. Sometimes I'll talk about a pear shape in class. There's the pear. So Bridgman just adds a little bit more squareness to that form. And then if I want to get that, the top of the leg in, thigh, I'm going to do a curve that way a little bit. We'll see how it ends up. And come down, and then I'm going to show the knee in here. It's just in the hollow, kind of trying to. I want to get higher on that. My first gesture is too simplistic now because you can see how Bridgman is drawing that muscle, that leg muscle, and then from that Icarus crest coming into the muscle top of the knee, something like that. Which is why you can add a little bit of curve there and then this, and this would roll underneath. So that shape should come to the lower part of the knee. Let's get this shin, and we are doing that curve, that crazy curve. And I'm going to put my generics in. Generic calf about halfway, dropping down, straightening, and then I'm going to draw that kind of triangle shape you'll always see me drawing. Give me a nice strong heel. I've taken a little bit off the length in the end, but actually I'm okay with that. It's got structure to it. I'm happy with it. I'm enjoying the drawing, you know, and that's important to me in my drawing journey. You know, I'm enjoying the lines and creating it, and I'm happy. Kind of, I'm feeling more relaxed the more I'm drawing. I'm just going to define that little shape a bit, get a little bit of weight to underneath of that calf in my mark making. It'd be good to get an ankle bone in, because the way this leg is turned. I'm not going to put anything else in there, because I like the gesture of it. That looks like a solid leg. Somehow I kind of I've got a nice solid leg there. Let's fall in love with that other hip, because look how it drops, and I want that long stretch. And we're going to come right out onto this hip, right low down, because we wanted that diagonal. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. There. So I've got to do the same here. You've got that diagonal there. So I'm going to come out on that hip. So I'm even going to drop my little hip a little bit lower. Going to keep that. I'm going to flatten. Almost this comes around. So I've got the stomach here and then into the groin. I'm just getting a bit scrappy anyway. And I'm going to come out on that hip. And I'm going to come right down to there. Whoa, let's see, maybe I was... And then I'm going to bring this leg out. I'm just going to zoom out to get my measurements. And I've got to watch this length now. It wants to be similar to this. So something like that. So it's nice and low. His is even lower. Maybe I've got too much angle on mine. Get it. If I bring it closer, I can get it lower. Yeah, I think we're starting to play with that though. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I got no idea how long I'm taking on this. I hope this pace is working for everyone. I guess if it's not, you've signed off already. I think you're all still there. So we would have from the front of that Icarus crest, you've got that, again, that motion that comes down the leg. And let's get that knee in, because it's going to help us twist. So our center line comes down here, maybe. I'll take some of these out in a minute. Now we can do as we want with that leg. I guess it's tucking right back. From the way that knee is drawn, Bridgman shows me like the top of the knee in that angle. Which almost feels like it's, and the way he's got that calf, that it's, if I'm drawing underneath that it's totally foreshortened away. So if I imagine a calf, and then it's going to pull away, I'm deliberately making that narrower and narrower, really pushing that, so it's getting really thin back there. And I'm a little like the top plane, show more of the top plane of the foot, and it's going to feel smaller. I'm trying to force that perspective. You can see through there. All that. Through there I mean all those lines that I've just kind of dumped in a very unneat way. Ankle bone. Looking over the top of that. It's coming down into that heel. A little bit of shape in there. The big toe in here. You're not going to see a lot of the rest of that. That wants to obviously feel like the curve there, and we'll see a nice curve in that line as it pulls away from us. The shape underneath the knee into that. Let's get a little bit more subtle with our mark making. You're not going to quite see that center line of that muscle, but we could get a little bit of muscle curve there because the way I've drawn it. So that muscle then sits over the knee. That's why we might get that then. So we're kind of getting the basics of that. To assist that, I've got to play with that line. I'm going to roll a little bit of curve into there and roll back out. We'll see if that helps. Let me just sharpen the top of that knee because I drew a muscle in it. Detracted. Haha! Kind of working, kind of working. I wonder if I need a bit more volume on that thigh. I didn't expect it. Yeah, it's kind of coming together. It's kind of coming together quite nicely. So there's a nice strong diagonal there. Look at that diagonal there. Look at that diagonal there. Look at that diagonal there. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I'm just going to get a bit of shape on that stomach mass. There's the belly button up here somewhere. sure it was needed. I think it was working fine without it. Anyway. Maybe a bit of squash in here. Let's try and get up here then. So we got the deltoid. It's kind of drawn it squashing. Need a little bit more length on mine. And bicep, bringing that arm back. And the simple shape is something like that. So it's slightly triangle. You see it's wider there than there. I've allowed the curve. Not sure what the hand is doing. We'll drop it back in towards the head. We'll define those shapes a little bit more, but in many respects this drawing is about the hips and the motion. Get a little bit more curve in that. This wants to sit on top of, I think. Was pulling away actually. You know, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to put my bicep in front of very slightly. Bring the elbow a bit higher, and then it curves down there. Does that make sense what I did there? Let's get this forearm in. A little bit of shape here, and then thinning the wrist. And just getting the flat of the hand, and we'll just put that finger in. Don't worry too much. There's a thumb back there somewhere. I'm just going to put the curve of that eye in and that eye in. If I want some hair, let me just roll that from the ear up and around. Get a little bit more mass. Let's tuck that behind. Something like that. Probably at this stage from mine I can do with the suggestion of the mouth. Not there. Oh, it looks a bit cartoony, and just underneath that lip, hopefully it will de-cartoonify it a bit. So I drew a mark underneath the lip. Probably going to pause on that one. Okay, I think I tried to draw a thumb in there, and you wouldn't see a thumb in there. Anyway, that was fun. I think it was fun. Right, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Time, we've got a quarter of an hour or so. You all still there? Most of you there? So, here we are. Let's draw... Let's try this one. I'm really testing us today. But you can see how much fun drawing Bridgman is. But like I said, they can be a bit abstract. You've got to pull the shapes together. Cross the shoulders. And we're going to put this upper torso in. We're really looking into that rib cage. Looking like into underneath that rib cage. And then we've got the lower torso. Something like that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll build it. I'm not sure I've got this rib working at all well yet, because we're going to put the centre line right up there. We're looking more into that rib. We'll come back to it. What I love about this drawing is that hip and coming into that leg. Draws a beautiful leg there. Just some generics in, and that wants to do that. If that's a bad line, sorry. So again, it's like this and like this, and we'll see where it ends up in a bit. On that hip, I'm going to flatten. I'm going to come out onto that buttock. I'm going to put a little bit of weight on that bottom of that buttock, whoosh, like that. Alright, let's see how expressive I get in this one. That neck base is in there, but I'm not sure. I think I'm struggling with my centre line in there. Mada says, very fun. Cool. Glad you're enjoying it. A lot of twisting these today. I'm going to play with where a centre line might end up. So it's going to come in and then come around the stomach mass. Down in here and down into the groin. You'll see I always change direction there. Like, so I've got the stomach and then the groin mass. This tends to be how I draw it. It's a style thing. It's not a style thing. You do see it. Obviously everyone is different in the stomach. I'm going to draw that rib crunching here, and actually I'm going to curve a line this way, see if that works. It's like there's a real crunch in there, and I'm going to flatten a little bit. I want to get that other leg in a minute. Because this hip's right up in there, I want to do something similar, because that leg's really high in this drawing, and it kind of comes out right up there. Little curve on that. Big twists into that knee, showing me the front of the knee. Something like that. We'll see if I've got enough volume in that in a minute. I'm going to draw a little bit of shape on that groin. Hopefully you can see through my slightly abstract marks. Cool. Just pull that rib, stretch on that side of that rib. Cool. Let's work on that upper torso a bit. See what we can do with it. So he pulls his shoulder right forward, and it hides a lot of information there. So we've got the deltoid in here. Got that length of that deltoid, and then he's showing us the deltoid, and then the shoulder blade and the lat, and then the rib. See that coming together there? And he pulls the bicep tricep right across. Let's roll this down, because this will come down into that form. From this ankle, the point of that muscle, the deltoid might be like that. If that makes sense, that's the split of the bicep tricep. This arm seems to go away. We're just going to put a generic shaping, because we need to put that head in. And then on the other side, you're seeing some of the trapezius. The pit of the neck is in there somewhere. That other deltoid. And it doesn't go into detail about where that arm is, dropping down in there. Let me zoom out, and because we're going to have to think about where that head would have dropped in there slightly. So you see, I really lightly kind of put in where the neck might go. There might be an ear there. This feels like it would drop again. Putting in an eye, kind of rolling. I'm not trying to draw a whole portrait again, but I am trying to suggest a little bit more of the head. Get some hair in, maybe. Draw a bit of that mass, the hair there. Might be getting a bit long in there. We have a manga head going on, a bit too much. I'll take a bit more off. Be careful with my lines there. They were getting a little bit dominant, those lines. So it really shouldn't be the strongest part of the drawing. There kind of should be a suggestion, I think, in this drawing. It's a body pose, really. Ah, showing too much. I'm fighting that one. Sorry, guys. Not describing very well. I'm kind of fighting it. Who knows? In there somewhere. A bit higher in that ear. Then I need more shape on the back of that head. Maybe. Totally feel like it's connecting at the moment. Right, let's have fun down on these legs, and we'll come back and rescue that head in a minute. can't win them all. We want the knee bone dropping in here. It's just drawing like a little rectangle in there. You can see how he plays with all of that. And if you want to do more of that, you've got, well, Bridgman is obviously more the master of this than I am. You've got that muscle that sits on either side of that knee, overlapping. If you're very built, it can overlap on either side of that knee, and then it splits in the middle. But you'd have to keep that very light. You kind of see him suggesting it there. So we're going to do this. We're going to come around the back and then pull that in to the underneath the knee. I'm just going to drop a shin in out of interest. A little curve to it, and then we're going to draw this calf in. A little bit of weight on that side and get that little bit of weight. And then the lower part. And this is a good example why I draw the top of the heel this way, because can you see? Sorry, the top of the foot and the ankle. I curve over there. Curve over that shape down into the foot. Come down to that ankle bone. Show me underneath that ankle bone and show me that heel. But if you've never drawn, if you don't draw that curve, then that's a really, you can see it there. That's a really good example. I flattened my angle a bit on that foot. But you can see where I get it from. I might have got a little long in that, but I like the shape. I'm going to play with it. I really don't like my head. It's all over the place. It's just in the wrong place. I'll come back to it. So I'm going to have the courage and go like that and go, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Or maybe I should come back to it now. The problem is when we avoid things. Let me put a stage of it in and we'll come back to it. It's got to go in there somewhere, and I'm kind of drawing where the neck would. Let me do something else and come back to it. I don't want to get locked up on it. So that's like I want to suggest it and build it. Come back to it. Let's just drop this leg in. Of course, we need the side wall here. So not sure what this leg is obviously doing. It's up to me. I'm drawing it flat at the moment. Maybe for fun we'll put him on a toe just to create dynamics, and we'll show the heel because we can. Alright. Let's get a bit of shape in this leg muscle. This comes across the top of the knee, so I'm lowering that knee a little bit. Imagine that muscle will be sat in there. So this is coming around and then like that somehow. Which makes me feel like I want more shape there. Wow. I just think this foot's a bit big. Mine. Get that anchor in. I show across the top of the foot a bit more. So I know I'm just because I'm playing, so I'm just tweaking as I'm going through. It feels better. Something like that. Who knows? That's too long in there. I'll just let that arm disappear somewhere. Cool. Pectoral muscle. Let's just get a little bit more definition on that pectoral muscle, and on that side. Just going to put the nipple in, something like that. Excellent. Let's smudge in where an eye might go. And we'll look and we'll see if we're kind of happy with that. Those little smudge marks. Yeah, something like that. Keep that eye low. Dropping the ear high up on that ear. Something like that. I'm just going to suggest a hand. I'm going to put a square in, like you're seeing the flat hand raised. Oops, like that. I'm just going to break a finger. Not break a finger, but pull it out of the shape. That's what I kind of mean. Don't break your finger. Something like that. I'm just going to lighten those lines because you're drawn to them too much. Something a bit like that. I think. I was playing with the shapes. I don't know if all my proportions are right there. I'm not sure what this leg be. Playing with lots of shapes. Cool. Playing with shapes. Always fun. And that's learning, isn't it, sometimes? I think that middle drawing. Been a lot of fun with kind of that hip. That was working quite well. I think we're probably going to call it a day there. There's some things that are slightly off in that last drawing. Hey, it was cool. I enjoyed doing the drawings. I enjoyed drawing a bit of Bridgman. Hopefully you enjoyed drawing a bit of Bridgman. If you don't have the books and can get hold of them, I would highly recommend them. Check out the handbooks. What is the handbook? 100. It is, what's it called? The Book of 100 Hands. Of 100 hands. And there are hundreds of drawings of hands. Whoops, which way are we going with this camera? And they are amazing. Cool. Guys, thanks for watching. If you want to do a thumbs up on YouTube or whatever, tell your friends, your family, your pet dog, everyone in the world. And thank you very much for joining me. It's always nice when everyone joins me and we do some drawing. Maybe, well, I'll do another one next week. So if you want to come along and join again next week, if you've done your drawings and want to hashtag Cardiff Life Drawing, that's awesome. I can check them out on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. Apart from that, take care, stay safe. Thanks, Simon. He's saying thank you. Thanks, I learned a lot of you. Thanks, Myla. Thank you again for joining me. So, guys, take care. I'm just going to close the little live stream now. Whoops, like that. I was going to. And take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Ta-ra, bye-bye. Bye.